Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Footy Show Daily. We're live on Patreon. We're a little bit late. Apologies. We're trying to get hold of a guest. Couldn't get hold of them. But there you have it. Yeah. Looks like we're coming back. 20th. Certainly the weekend of the 20th of June. 3 weeks.
What? Just over 3 weeks, isn't it?
3 weeks Saturday.
It's a week later than the first the first date we were given, wasn't it? Which was June the 12th, 13th. And I guess it was kind of what we said at the time, wasn't it? It was, even though some people were taking umbrage to when we were discussing it, we were saying, but by the time it's due to come back, things might have. Well, we were hoping things would have progressed to, you know, seeing the flattening and the curve and everything like that. So we've done all that now. We're starting to see the better effects of that. Obviously, there's still concerns about, you know, social distance and being relaxed and all that. But this is still, like we say, 3.5 weeks away before it starts. And I'm guessing things will have changed in 3.5 weeks again. And I suppose they have to have, like we said all along, they have to have this plan, don't they? Because if things had improved, then they're ready to go. And Germany was always going to be the roadmap to it, wasn't it?
Yeah, and listen, whatever your feelings are on whether the country should be open or shouldn't be open, it doesn't really matter.
No.
I mean, it doesn't really matter what... Clearly, we found out this week, it really doesn't matter what we think or feel.
Yeah.
With the schools set to come back, we'll wait and see if that happens. But definitely the shops are going to be open on June the 15th. And you get the feeling once that sort of happens, I mean, you look outside and you already feel a sense of normality coming back. Whether you agree with that or not, that doesn't really matter to the people in charge. So if the shops are opening like 5 days before, like on the Monday, and then on the Saturday we've got Premier League football, I think people will feel a lot more relaxed about it. Whereas, like we've been saying in the last month, people have, because life's not normal, it's really hard to understand what life's going to be like. And that's sort of how the Premier League, I think, have played it. Every week they've looked at it and gone, yeah, we might do this, we might not. And they've not listened to the noise, because they've probably been consulting with the government, because the government want it back, of course, about normal life. And I think with the shops opening that week before Premier League football, that makes it so much easier now. Now that that date's out, and I don't think they've always been waiting for that date. Now the shops are open and normality, people are going to work. So if people are going to work, okay, there'll be queues at shops and won't be as many people in the shops. But if people are working with each other, like they have been already in supermarkets, then people will look at Premier League players and won't think it's as alien that these people are playing football. Plus, there'll have already been a month of German football, which seems to be working quite well at the moment. So, all in all, when it does come, I think, okay, apart from us not being in the stadiums, everyone's just going to look at it and go, well, yeah, it follows the path of everything else.
Yeah, there'll still be people who oppose it, and rightly, you know, for them, you know, I'd never tell people how they should be feeling about it, but it is that sense of that, you know, things have got to kind of resume a little bit of normality. We know that the race is on for a vaccine, or certainly, I think what we're seeing at the moment, when you're looking at it from a COVID point of view, is that we're seeing things like Ebola drugs that are having a good effect on reducing the timescales that people are ill. And this was always going to be the case, wasn't it? We've discussed this on other shows, how drugs for other things then seem to lead the way for different illnesses or whatever. And that's what we're up to now. And I think before we get to a vaccine, I think we'll get to a place where people kind of go, well, this drug reduces it by this and this drug reduces it by that. And by that happening, people's attitude changes a bit. It's still, social distancing's going to be in for a while. We know that, and if that's the right thing to do, which it seems to be, results everywhere kind of tell us that that's the right thing, then we must continue to.
We've already had it this week, haven't we? We've had confirmation this week, whether we need it or not, but we've had confirmation that a certain amount of deaths were caused because of the Atletico Madrid-Liverpool game at Anfield.
41, wasn't it?
You know,
Liverpool, yeah.
We know deaths occurred because of Cheltenham. You know, we know that the advice given that week was completely wrong. And what they should have done is played it safe and said, we're not having these, but they didn't, and they got it completely wrong. So that's going to stay in for a while. So, you know, even though this date hasn't officially been put out there yet, it's getting massaged into the public consciousness, this date. You know, we heard it yesterday. People have come out and said it today on the back of the announcement that Premier League players will step up to the next training sessions, which are effectively contact now. Okay, still in small groups, but they reckon by the end of the week, depending on how you look at what the end of the week is, they will be having 11v11. And that might be 11v11 non-contact, as in just getting the structure back of... I don't know, because we are... And at the end of the day, if you think about it, if you train 11v11, how many people do you actually come into contact? You think about a football match. If you're a centre-back, how many people do you... Apart from, like... So what they might do is have 11v11 and not have, like, corners. Because if you think about it...
Just playing
if you think about it, how many times with a centre-back, how many people does a centre-back come into contact with if you take away set pieces?
What's really interesting is, and again, I suppose it's how sometimes it's put into the public domain, is I seen something that was out yesterday, actually. It was in regard to football, it was in regard to spectator sports and time you spend with people. But they reckon centre-forwards spend 11 minutes in close proximity a game.
Yeah.
Right? But what they've said is anything longer than 15 minutes in close proximity to someone it can be dangerous. So even by just putting that 15-minute time scale, they're going, well, centre-forwards are the ones who spend the most time in, and that's only 11 minutes in a game. In a 90-minute game, the average is 11 minutes. So you're right, they could just play those games and go, to start with, we won't have corners, things like that. At training, of course, once the game starts. So yeah, listen, it's coming back. We know it is. It's now, we know that we kind of got a date now. This date has to be confirmed by, I think it's tomorrow, the 28th of May, I think it is. The date has to be confirmed, so I think it will be. It's out. Listen, it's out. Jim White's just tweeted.
For me, this is all strategic. Literally just now.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister has just confirmed that there's going to be a track and trace programme started tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Which again is part of the plan, because one of the things I think for the second part of training, I don't know if this was already in, but footballers will basically be GPS tracked now, and they'll know everywhere they've been and everyone they've come into contact with. And I don't know whether this is an extension of that. I'm very dubious about these kind of things. But
yeah, but if it is the way it is and it has to happen, mate. Then
yeah, we'll see about that. I don't believe signing up for government things myself. But
have you got an Apple account?
No.
You haven't got an Apple account?
No.
Not
in my name.
Okay. Have you got a Samsung account because you got a Samsung phone?
No.
Okay, so you're not signed up to anything?
Yeah, I've signed up to things. So but that doesn't mean...
They've already got your data.
No,
they haven't. Got everything.
Elon Musk has got all my data.
Everyone.
The Amazon man has got all my
America's
data.
Got all of your data.
Well, Americans are not tracking me. Well, yeah, but, that's a different story. I'm trying to get in the country. I've got my visa, I'm all right.
At the end of the day, whether someone else has your data, it's irrelevant. But what I'm saying is, if this is a way out of this, and if this is a way to kind of control whatever's going on, then that's the way it is, isn't it? And we have to go with that. In terms of football, and I know that some people don't like it when we talk about normal life, and we talk about football and we separate it. I know some people don't like that, but things with footballers are, and again, David Maddock was talking yesterday about it. Gary Neville's mentioned it. These footballers are getting tested 2 to 3 times a week. They've got heart monitors on, they've got oxygen levels being monitored. They're getting everything that can possibly be done to look at their health. They're getting more stuff than what frontline staff are getting almost. So, well, whether you agree with that or you don't agree with that, that's fine. And the reality is no one can really agree with that over frontline staff getting done. Of course they can't. But football as a business is doing that through private testing, through having its own medical people. And so they're trying to make it as safe as physically possible. And we've got to a stage now where it was a unanimous vote today by Premier League clubs. 20 out of 20 all voted for contact in training to move to phase 2. And that's where we are as we build up to the 20th, which is the date that will probably be out there. Jim White tweeted it today. We heard it yesterday. We heard it, to be honest, we heard it last week and it was mooted, wasn't it, the 19th and whatever, but that seems to be the date they're going with now, and the games are all going to be that's come out now, hasn't it? All the games are going to be on live, all the games are going to be on free to air as well as Sky and everything else. So it is what it is at the moment, and we're working towards that now.
Yeah, I mean, there's no plan put out there yet about the TV games, but it does look like every game's going to be separate, unlike Germany, where they put them in blocks and stuff, and they only have the traditional couple of games that are live.
Well, they removed one of the things, haven't they, which is the 3 o'clock in England.
Yeah.
It's getting, but you were saying it could be it could be like a 12, 2, 4, 6 kind of
which would
scenario.
make sense for the Premier League because they want all the eyes on it if they're going to play games. And they've gone quiet on certain other things as well, haven't they? I mean, going back to what we were saying before about the way things are moving on, probably that plays into their hands as well about not having to play games at neutral venues, because as time ticks on, that seems to have been not taken off the table, but quietly just removed, which means that they're probably thinking that will be a last-minute decision. If they can get to that first week and there's a lot more normality about, then they'll probably think, well, Sam would...
Well, I haven't heard anything about this, and I don't know whether you have, but has there been fans turning up at, like, Dortmund outside and stuff? Or?
I've seen some Dortmund fans outside, but not many.
Yeah.
But I just have I get the feeling that German fans are just more disciplined than we are.
You know what, though? But we could be jumping I mean, something David Maddox said yesterday, which he totally disagreed with people's view on that, of like, fans will just turn up and all. He was like, we're still treating football fans like they're stupid or whatever. You'd have to just see it, don't you? We're preempting something that mightn't happen. Do you know what it might? Listen, you could be absolutely right. Loads could turn up. But
listen, I'm not having a go at football fans because I'm a football fan. It's human nature. And I'm not even... It is told. People were having street parties when they shouldn't have been having street parties. It's human nature for people. And I'm not talking about, like, the people who go to the game here. I'm talking about, like, other people in society who just sense an opportunity to have a big party or something. And the way it's gone in the last week, where it feels like things are just getting back to normal, is that people go, oh, I thought we were all back to normal. I thought we could do these things. Also, this is the other thing about it. Look at the people on beaches, right? Look at the people among the people who've gone to beaches, right? And then you get there and they go, isn't it terrible that it's chocker? Do you know what I mean? It's like, how many people, let's say Liverpool win the title, right? How many people do you think will go, their first instinct, and I'm not having to go at Liverpool fans because I think any club would do this. Their first instinct to go, I want to go to Anfield now, or I want to go to my ground. Yeah, but they will though. They absolutely will. There's no ifs and buts and maybes about it.
But that's the way it is.
And if that one person says I'm going, then for that one person, but I'm saying the beach. I'm looking at it as the national,
as a collective,
as a whole. This is not football fans. This is everyone. I've seen videos this week of people sitting on beaches going, "This is terrible." There was a video last week of a beachfront down south where a fella holding a bottle of beer was saying, "This is terrible." And he's like, "You're there."
He said they should have. He said they need to have stricter lockdown rules. There was
a fella before, a Liverpool fan, on Sky. I think it was on Sky, and he was saying, "No, it was a video on. I think it was on Joe on Twitter." And they were talking about the fact that the Atletico game.
Oh yeah.
And he said, we knew that week what was going to happen. And then they asked him the question, the $1 million question. He said, "Did you go?" And he went, "Yeah." He went, "But you knew?" And he went, "Well, yeah, but I still went." He said, "Because no one was telling me not to go." And this is what I'm saying.
But people will be telling them not to turn up at Anfield.
But
So they'll have been told.
But there's a...
And they'll be told not to turn up at Goodison. And City fans will be told not to turn up at the Etihad. And United fans will be told not to turn up at Old Trafford.
But this is the thing now, right? How far can you take that? People have been urged not to go to beaches. People have been urged to stay. You know, we've got the lifeguard song saying we haven't got lifeguards. People are dying. A couple of people died. We're urging people to go, and people go, you know what? I live around here. I'll go. But the other people who live miles away, they won't come. And I think that'll be what'll happen at football grounds, and it might happen. Listen, I'm not saying Liverpool. What happens last day of the season, and you've got, I don't know, Villa, right? Villa are at home, right? And let's say, because we've seen what's happened in Germany with the home records, 13%.
No, I know.
And before. Yeah, so Villa...
4 home wins, I think.
So Villa, let's say Villa fans, they've watched their team lose 3 or 4 times already. I'm not saying they will or they won't. And that last game, their fans think, if we go outside and we start singing, they'll be able to hear us. We're talking 6...
I get it.
7 weeks down. I am not pointing fingers, because I said to you last week, if this was us, I'd probably be there. If I was younger, I'd go, because to me, it'd be like, this is all over, this is done. You know, if I was 20 and
the messages will be different. Listen,
it won't be though.
Listen,
people don't care.
I'm not preempting anything. We'll see once we go. Don't think you can, because if we sat in with those opinions and went, that's the way it is, then they wouldn't be bringing it back, would they? And it will be back. But I mean, I'd rather, if I was a Liverpool fan and you wanted to watch them win the league, I'd want to watch the game and win the league. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be going, now I'm going to Anfield to celebrate.
But I'm not talking about that necessarily. I'm talking not the game. I'm talking, let's say, what happens after the game. Well, and I'm not even talking about while the game's on.
Yeah.
I'm talking
that could happen at any time, no pet.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm not criticising. I'm saying that. I'm not criticising the fans. What I'm saying is that if Liverpool when Liverpool win the league, if they're at Anfield, there will be or Villa at home and they stay up, or whoever. The people will want to go. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. And I'm saying in 6 weeks to 8 weeks time, whenever this league's finished, listen, the guidance might be, you can go anywhere else. You can go to shops, and this is what might be driving the decisions. I don't know.
We'll just see what happens.
I just think that natural instincts will just take over
as the footy goes through. And we watched the Borussia Dortmund game last night here and Bayern Munich. I mean, there was a lot more quality in that game, wasn't it? The level had gone up again with as they got fitter, I thought, technical wise, but still for me,
it was very open. Yeah, it was very, very open. There was a lack of discipline in there, and I wonder whether that lack of discipline comes from playing in front of an empty stadium. And we've said this before, you know, I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying it's
different.
It felt different. Like Dortmund players were taking a lot of chances on the ball, like at the back, and you were thinking, I was just wondering myself, I wonder if there was a crowd there where they'd take those chances, because people would be like,
will that be I mean, do you think that'd be a bad thing for the Premier League?
It'd be a bad thing for some teams.
No.
I know that. No, I don't know. I mean, be an interesting one if the football's better and people start going, fans. Fans.
That won't happen.
No, but that's the thing. Is you would see that. You'd get people like that, wouldn't you, going,
I noticed Leverkusen last night, they got done 4-1 at home.
Well, that's that thing we were talking about recognising that the game's going away from you. And I think sometimes that's only... we've been to enough football matches to know when you have to give them a like...
But then, conversely to that, he went 3-1 down at home to Freiburg and ended up getting it back to 3 Cologne, I think it might have been. Went 3-1 down at home to Freiburg and ended up getting it back to 3-3. And from nowhere as well. You know, but again, 3-1.
Doesn't that come from... Again, that come from...
And they were at home.
But isn't that coming from, like, the players on the pitch needing almost the fans sometimes to say, like, you know, you need to get
it's a kick
behind the ball.
And that's why I think... I don't know whether there's any intention to pump crowd noise into a stadium. I don't know. Certainly from a a consumer's point of view, let's call it, I've said this before, I want the production value of what I'm watching to be better. Seen last night, I think it was Leverkusen had a big flags all across their seats, so it looked different already. And I think by having, I've said it before, having the cardboard cutouts or whatever you want with noise, I think will take you into that, because you do find yourself getting, when it isn't so obviously empty, you do kind of consume the game in a different way. I think the minute you see empty seats, it gives you that this game doesn't really matter. Whereas I think, had Dortmund have had cardboard cutouts saying a little bit of noise, you'd watch the game a little bit differently. And I think that's something
I said to you,
the Premier League needs
I said to you
look
last
at.
week, there's different grounds have like a different feel about them, or have different. The acoustics at Dortmund's ground are brilliant for when the ground's full. But when they're empty, the noise just rattles. Yeah. It's hollow, and I think that's a big part of it. But no, it was a good game. You know, we watched the majority of it here, and Dortmund bottled it again. First, they are bottlers.
Yeah. Favre, he's a good manager up to a point. Can't win anything.
It'd be interesting. Haaland though as well, and I'm not having a go because I know he's brilliant, but.
Couple of big moments
in big games. He's gone missing. I've noticed in big games.
He had a couple of big moments that he should. I mean, he only scored after 30 seconds, didn't he? But he had a big thing. But no, it's going to be. It's. I think the Premier League will be fascinating from that perspective of how the teams. You know, will teams go to Anfield now and go? There's no crowd here. I'm not Liverpool are a great side.
But they're all outside.
They're a great side, but it's not the same playing. No. Will teams go to the Etihad and go? Well. Yeah, City knock it around, brilliant. There's no influence, and you know when teams go to.
Is there ever?
Well, I don't know. When teams go to Crystal Palace, which is a tough place to play because the crowd are, Bournemouth, little Granby, like a training stadium.
No,
it'll be interesting to see how those times. Goodison,
It'll be interesting to see what those stats are like. As I said, in the Bundesliga at the moment, they're massively. The away teams are going and they're not.
Regardless of where they are in the league as well.
They're just going and they're not bothered.
And
that just shows you how important fans are.
Fans are listen, without fans it isn't the same, but what I'm saying is from a consumer's point of view, they've got to look at the production. So
no question.
Okay,
we haven't got time sadly because we've got
that's fine. I'm surprised no one's put a question, but there you
go. If you want to watch this show live and get your questions in, join us over on Patreon. The link is in the description. Just let us know your thoughts in the comments if not. And we'll be back tomorrow talking about whatever's going on. Whatever's going on tomorrow. Something else will be going on, of course. Well, it's football. We're ramping back towards the start of the Premier League. We'll see you then.